This is about classified information. This is a very big aspect of this, right? They want to make sure John Bolton, who they assumed was revealing classified information, wasn't doing so because that would harm the United States of America. Maybe we did forget. Donald Trump mishandled, hid, and kept classified information for a full year after authorities realized he had it when he left office.
Sources now confirm that a lawyer for former President Trump signed a letter in June asserting there was no more classified information stored at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida. But when the FBI executed a search warrant on Monday, agents recovered 11 sets of classified documents, with at least one marked as top secret. SCI, which is one of the highest levels of classification. The newly unsealed court documents outline 3 potential crimes that are being investigated.
But how about that whole Kash Patel guy who said no one is above the law? We have to go after classified information. This is what Kash Patel was sounding like at the time when Donald Trump was getting raided and discovered to have classified information.
It was a total weaponization and politicization by the FBI and DOJ in the Biden administration, dating back to the Obama administration, that led not only to Russiagate, as you opened up with, but to the invasion of Donald Trump's private home in Mar-a-Lago. There was, as we now know, thanks to the federal courts, there was no constitutional basis to do so. There was no lawful predicate to open that investigation. But once you let the politicians run the FBI and DOJ and weaponize it against their political opponents, like they have done for years against Donald Trump, back to Russiagate and to his home, we are now showing and exposing again the weaponization. And to your second point, once we rid, and that's what we're doing here at the FBI, ridding this place of its former leadership structure that did that weaponization, and we're giving accountability to the American people as we find it. As you highlighted, myself, Director Ratcliffe, and others in the intelligence community are declassifying documents at a great rate to publicize what we're finding.
But how about the hypocrisy from Kash Patel? We're going to rid the law enforcement agencies of all this weaponization and go after your political opponents. Therefore, as I install everyone that are complete Trump loyalists, we're going to have this weaponization of our law enforcement agencies to go after all of our political opponents, the way that the guy said he was going to do when he was on the campaign trail. But, when you let the politicians run these agencies, they run roughshod. What we have to do is clear back out and get some real law enforcement professionals in there, like me and Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi, who are covering up the Epstein. We have a really short memory. Don't we remember that this guy was holding all this information and tried to tell everyone that he didn't have it? And then once his places got raided and they found the stuff that they said they knew was in there, he then said, "This is a witch hunt. I can't believe you guys would come and get classified information from my residence when I told you it wasn't there."
Very sadly, we're a nation in decline, and yet they go after a popular president, a president that got more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country, by far, and did much better the second time in the election than the first. And they go after him on a boxes hoax, just like the Russia hoax and all of the others. It's just been going on for 7 years. They can't stop because it's election interference at the highest level. There's never been anything like what's happened. I'm an innocent man. I'm an innocent person. And what do? You have a president where an election was taken, got more votes than any sitting president in history by far, never anything even close. And they come after me because now we're leading in the polls again by a lot, against Biden and against the Republicans by a lot. But we're leading against Biden by a lot, a tremendous amount. And we went up to a level that they figured the way they're going to stop us is by using what's called warfare. And that's what it is. This is warfare for the law. And we can't let it happen. We can't let it happen. Our country is going to hell. And they come after Donald Trump.
He should have been in jail that moment. This sumbitch had top secret classified information that was marked that way. But I don't know why they're going after him. Everything that he was busted on, this dude had 34 felony convictions because it was proven in courts of law with juries that saw it and adjudicated it and said, this guy's a criminal. They just turn around and say, what are you talking about? That was a witch hunt that convicted me of all these issues. That was just a witch hunt that literally found top secret classified information in my damn bathroom next to the Charmin toilet paper with some shit stains on it. I'm sorry, that was just a witch hunt. Here's Olivia Troy still, from that same time, she worked in Trump's first administration. And this is what it is that she discovered while she was working there.
I'll tell you, I found classified information in the ladies' room of the White House one time in the Eisenhower Executive Office Building, and I immediately walked it right up to security and said, I just found this in the bathroom. I covered it up. I put it in a folder. It wasn't marked properly. The folder wasn't, because I was not expecting to walk in the ladies' room and find a document like that. But I marched right up. I gave him my name. I gave him the information. I said, I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't track how it got there. But the fact that these boxes were just sitting down there in a place where a lot of foreigners tend to traffic there. I mean, lots of traffic in that area. Many of us in the national security community and those of us who work in the Trump administration, we worried about this.
Right.
We worried about the fact that there was clearly not a great understanding by the president of how to handle this information when Trump was in office. And we worried about the fact that he would just disclose things in conversations, right? And you didn't know what he was going to say.
And we're just supposed to forget everything that we've seen and heard and witnessed. Which brings me to the last point here on this story. Today's Friday, August 22nd. It's also the same day that the Department of Justice, that same department that Pam Bondi runs, that's covering up the Epstein Files. This is the same day that they're finally supposed to release the Epstein Files to House Oversight Committee folks. That's why earlier in the week, James Comer and Jasmine Crockett and all these folks were in that hearing where they listened to Bill Barr talk about what it is that happened and what he knew. Today, they're finally supposed to reveal this information and roll it out. Isn't it weird that on the same day that that's supposed to happen, where we're supposed to find out some more information, these guys in the early morning hours, first thing in the morning, go and raid John Bolton's house? It's odd how that works. And apparently I wasn't the only person who realized that.
It looks political to me. I mean, it looks political. It looks like it's also an attempt to distract from the other big news of the day, which is the first production of the Epstein Files that's required by subpoena from the Oversight Committee on which I sit. And they want to change the conversation repeatedly. This is going to happen every day because they don't want people talking about the Epstein Files or about their mismanagement of the economy.
All right, let me follow up on that. You think you were questioning the timing of this and raising a possible connection to the turning over of some documents of Epstein Files to your committee today?
Yeah, I think today is the first day that the DOJ has been required to comply with the subpoena. They said that they would start producing documents today. I'm concerned that they're going to slow walk that as well. But there's tremendous clamor for these documents and transparency as to these files. And as you know, both Donald Trump as well as Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, are trying to prevent that from happening, and they want to change the conversation.
And that's what you think this raid, the search at Bolton's house is about?
It could be. I think that there's going to be repeated attempts to distract from, both the economy as well as the Epstein Files.
I generally like John Berman on CNN, but bro, he answered the question. In fact, before you asked it, he answered the question. I think this is a distraction from the Epstein Files that is supposed to be rolled out and given to the Oversight Committee. So what you're saying is, I just want to make sure I want to ask you the question. Are you saying that this is a distraction from the Epstein Files? Yes, what I'm saying is this is a distraction from the Epstein Files. So is that what you're saying? That this is supposed to not be about what's going on in John Bolton's house and actually to distract us from the Epstein Files? Yes. Yeah. Bro, that's what he said. He said it 3 times. Bro. Jeez. Yes, that was it. It's not that big of a thing to say. Matter of fact, he's been doing it ever since he got in office. So please, let's not try to normalize the fact that everything he does is disastrous and destructive as it is, from DC to LA to every other city that's going to start attacking, that he's doing it as well as distracting from the biggest thing, which is the Epstein Files. Let's keep it real. So please don't take your eye off the ball. Maybe we should tell John Berman 3 more times.